Jeff Passan and Kylie McDaniel of ESPN have dropped their top 100 players that could be traded at this MLB trade deadline. That's a lot of players. We're not going to talk about all 100, but the top 25 feels like all big enough players that we should have a discussion. I'll let you know my thoughts and opinions on if I think these guys will get traded, where I think they could possibly go, as well as share Passan's and Kylie McDaniel's with you. If you're enjoying the content over here, make sure you are subscribed to the channel so you don't miss out. But first, I want to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, SeatGeek. The baseball season is in full swing. You've also got the NBA Finals, the World Cup. There's so much going on, which means you need tickets, and that's where SeatGeek comes in. So use my code Giraffe10 to get 10% off your next purchase of MLB tickets on SeatGeek. And because SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, your tickets are fully guaranteed and instantly fulfilled after purchase. We've got the MLB All-Star Game coming up, the Home Run Derby, of course. You've got some good series in the summer. You're going to want some tickets. SeatGeek's got you covered. My favorite feature on SeatGeek, of course, is their SeatGeek score. That's where SeatGeek rates tickets on a scale of 1 to 10 to let you, the buyer, know if you're getting a good deal or not. So when you're searching for tickets and you see a SeatGeek score closer to 10 with a green dot on the map, that means those are good tickets. It's a good deal. You should buy those. When you see tickets with a score closer to 1 with a red or even orange circle on the map, that means those tickets are not a great deal. So once again, I've got the hookup for you guys. Use my code Giraffe10 to get 10% off your next purchase of MLB tickets on SeatGeek. Click the link in the description, download the SeatGeek app, and make sure you put in my code Giraffe10 to get in on this offer. Thank you to SeatGeek for sponsoring today's video. Okay, so quickly starting at the bottom, not going to read off all these names. If you want to check it out for yourself, link will be in the description. You can read the article. You should read the article. Go support what these guys do over there. I wouldn't be able to make the video without them. I'm going to start off on the top 25, and right now at number 25, Matt Shaw of the Chicago Cubs. A 40% chance of being traded, rest of the season impact moderate, years of control 5 years after 2026, and truthfully, that would be the interesting thing about Matt Shaw. You have a ton of control. He was a former top prospect. While he hasn't been great with the Chicago Cubs, he has shown that he can be capable at multiple different positions. The bat is good enough that with that utility ability, Matt Shaw definitely has value, and I do think that not playing for the Chicago Cubs because of that stadium and the way that he fits into that team, he could be very valuable to a team somewhere else, and the Cubs are in such a weird spot right now that I do think that they would consider trading Matt Shaw. I think it's going to be more of a 50-50. Shaw would be moved in a trade to help their major league roster now, as well as helping out the team that they're trading with, and I do love the best fits here. The Red Sox would be great. He could be either the third baseman or second baseman of the future for the Cubs, maybe even shortstop at this point. Who knows? Now they got Franklin Arias, second base or third base. Yankees could use him. He'd be improvement at third base. Tampa Bay Rays could always use more competent players. Royals, this would be a trade if you're trying to move off from a bigger piece right now while also trying to retool for the future. Brewers could always get better. Blue Jays, and Giants. I would be shocked if the Cubs trade in division with the Brewers, especially because of the Craig Council thing. Blue Jays and Giants could always use more players, but I don't know if the Giants, if he really makes a lot of sense there. Cubs have a ton of infield players that all kind of do the same thing, and it just seems like Matt Shaw is going to get pushed out. 50-50 chance in my opinion. Next up at number 24, we've got Jarren Duran, a 25% chance of being traded, moderate impact, 2 years of control after 2026. He has a ton of teams that could be interested in him, and the fact that the outfield market doesn't feel as robust, or at least doesn't feel as clear as to who's going to be on the move, that's why I think the Red Sox should be listening to Jarren Duran trade offers more seriously than maybe they have in the past. Because look at all these teams that would be a good fit for. Phillies, Padres, Mariners, Rays, Marlins, Diamondbacks, Guardians, Giants, Astros. Almost all those teams are competing right now. Almost all those teams hope to compete in the next few years, and you'll have the control of Duran. This might be the perfect time for the Red Sox to move on from Jarren Duran, clear up that outfield a little bit because it is a mess. He hasn't been great this year, hasn't been bad, but just hasn't been the same Jarren Duran that we've been expecting, and it feels like maybe a change of scenery is about that time for Duran. Number 23, Joe Adell. Similar conversation for the Angels. You're not going anywhere with Joe Adell. He has 1 year of control after 2026. I think that the chance of being traded should be more like 75% here. If you are the Angels, I think you have to consider trading Joe Adell. I don't think he's a part of the future plan. I don't think the Angels are close to having a future plan, so that's the other issue here. But I do think that his rest of the season impact is one of the most volatile. So moderate's fair, but I think he could be a game changer for some teams. Like, I think the Phillies should be all over him. The Padres, the Brewers, all the teams that are listed here should be all over Joe Adell. I don't think he will cost a lot, but again, you're dealing with the Angels and Artie Moreno, so maybe he will. But also at the same time, you could probably trick him into giving them like a former top prospect and they'd be interested. Angels are a complete mess. I think you gotta let Joe Adell be free. He's just not a part of the future plans in Anaheim, in my opinion, so you should move on from him. 22, we've got Seth Lugo of the Kansas City Royals. Chance of being traded 65%, impact moderate, 1 year after 2026 at $21.5 million. And there are a ton of teams that should be interested. Like, I think the White Sox should be all over him. And they mentioned the Cardinals, the Diamondbacks, the White Sox, Braves, A's, Marlins, Padres, Yankees, Cubs. All make sense. All teams that are, again, competing right now, could use more pitching. I love the fit for him in St. Louis. I really do think that he could do wonders in that ballpark with that team and that great defense behind him. Diamondbacks would also be great. White Sox are the team that I hope goes after him, but always trading in divisions a little bit fishy. I don't hope he goes to the Braves as a Mets fan. The A's would be great. Like, all these teams make a ton of sense, and I do think that because he has 1 year of control extra, and it's not at the craziest price point, it's not cheap, but it's not insane on a 1 year deal. I do think that the Royals have to move Seth Lugo. This team's not making the playoffs. Go cash in. You have a weak farm system. Try and help it out right now. Number 21, we've got Ryan Jeffers. Chance of being traded, 85%. Rest of the season impact, moderate. Years of controls, just the end of the year. And unlike some of these other guys, Ryan Jeffers is just going to be a New York Yankee, right? There's no way he's not a New York Yankee unless another team, like they mentioned down here, comes in with a crazy offer. The Yankees basically only have left-handed catchers. Those catchers have been horrible this year. Ryan Jeffers has been great this season. They need a right-handed catcher so badly. And Ryan Jeffers, by the way, would just be the everyday catcher with Austin Wells being the backup, or I guess JC Escaro, or if they ever want to catch Ben Rice again. Jeffers is really good. I think it would be a no-brainer for both the Twins and the Yankees to make that deal happen. I don't see anybody else truly giving a better offer, most likely. Jeffers would be great for the Yankees. And the Twins, it should be 100%. They have to move on from him. Why would they ever hold on to Ryan Jeffers? Number 20, we've got Matt Chapman of the San Francisco Giants. Chance of being traded, 25. Rest of the season impact, high. Here's the issue. 4 years of control after 2026 at $100 million. Matt Chapman, probably out of San Francisco, plays like a better offensive player, makes more of an offensive impact. Defensively, we know he's an absolute wizard. And third base is truly one of the weakest positions in all of Major League Baseball right now, so he definitely has some value, both offensively and defensively. The issue is going to be that money. Nobody wants to help out the Giants and take that contract right now. I don't think it's a bad contract, but I don't think it's good, and some teams, again, don't want to have to spend that money. Cardinals would be a good fit. Third base is definitely weak right now. Matt Chapman feels like a Cardinal, doesn't he? The A's would also be a great fit. Man, he'd do so well there. Nationals need a third baseman badly. Brewers, Marlins, Phillies, Mets, Red Sox. I don't think the Mets would make this trade right now. I wonder if they put Bo Bichette on here, because I do think Bo Bichette actually has a way higher chance of being dealt right now than people are talking about. Red Sox would also be great. It would be so funny if the Red Sox traded Rafael Devers to the Giants and then took Matt Chapman. That would be a funny world we live in. I don't ultimately think Chapman gets moved, but I do love the idea that he could. This trade deadline is going to be electric. Number 19, Seiya Suzuki of the Cubs. Yeah, I think so far, this is the one that I think is the least likely to happen. The Cubs would have to fall off so hard right now, and while they're not playing good baseball, they're still very much in it, and I do still think the Cubs are a good baseball team. 15% makes sense. Rest of the season impact being moderate is crazy. I think it's high. Seiya is a criminally underrated hitter in the league. I don't care what his numbers are right now. This guy can be an impact bat, a middle-of-the-lineup guy. I love Seiya. Number 18, we have got Michael Wacha of the Kansas City Royals. 50% chance of being traded, moderate impact. 1 year after 2026 at $14 million, and the club option for 2028. This is one of those that I feel like the Padres are probably just going to bring him back, or the A's should be all over him, or the White Sox. I mean, every team should be. This is a phenomenal contract. Even if Michael Wacha is a 4.5 ERA pitcher, to get him at $14 million a year next season is cheap. To get him for the rest of the season this year is cheap. And to have the club option, if he is good and you like having him, at $14 million a year, this is one of the best value contracts that you could trade for right now, in my opinion. Michael Wacha has been great for Kansas City. Not always the most consistent, but honestly, he's giving you like 150 innings at like a near 4 ERA at the absolute worst. This feels like a no-brainer. I think the Royals have to trade Michael Wacha. I guess the only reason you wouldn't is because of the control. And again, it is such a good contract, you might want it for yourself. But this Royals team feels further away than they even were when the year started. I don't know if Michael Wacha is part of the future plans, and I do think you might be able to get a pretty good chunk back for him. 17, we've got Christian Walker of the Astros. So again, I wonder if Isaac Paredes is going to be mentioned in this article. One of Christian Walker or Isaac Paredes will be traded at the deadline. No doubt about it. The Astros absolutely stink. Their owner is a wild card because he's been insane recently, making some ridiculous moves. I talked about it over on my second channel, The Wind Up. I think that Christian Walker could be an Arizona Diamondback and bring him back. Blue Jays make sense. Guardians, Padres, Rangers, Marlins, Pirates. Ooh, Pirates would be fun. I'd love to see him in Pittsburgh. He's hitting well. He's been hot and cold. He's been a bit streaky, but that OPS is around 800. The defense isn't Gold Glove caliber like it has been in the past. But I mean, 1 year of control at $20 million, I think it's worth a shot for a guy who can be like a 30 home run bat and 800 OPS. You never bat your eyes at that. 16, we've got, Casey Mize of the Detroit Tigers. Whoa, Casey Mize is a free agent at the end of this year? Oh, that hurts my brain to think about. I remember him getting drafted. Yeah. Ooh, wow, Casey Mize. Yeah, if it continues to click, definitely a high-impact guy. He's a former #1 overall pick. The biggest issue, it feels like, for Mize has been health. He hasn't been healthy. Ooh, wow, that'd be a fun chaos rental for some team. They list the Braves, the Padres, the Cubs, Brewers, White Sox, A's, Cardinals, Rays, Diamondbacks, Blue Jays. Basically every team that's on the fringe right now. He does feel like more of a fringe guy for a team rather than the team that's looking to win right now, World Series contender, because I don't know if he is a postseason pitcher in the rotation for you. It's crazy to think that the Tigers have so many guys that could be moved and they really could just rip it all down while also probably still being competitive next year. What a disaster year. Sorry for Tigers fans. I picked you to win the World Series. That's on me. Keep an eye on Casey Mize. I like thinking about Casey Mize for the future. 15, we've got Sonny Gray. Okay, so Sonny Gray is one of the more interesting guys that could be moved at this deadline. Chance of being traded is 25%. We'll talk about it. The contract's why it's interesting. So right now there's a mutual option for $30 million with a $10 million buyout. That part is scary. You don't want to pay Sonny Gray $30 million, and you also don't want to pay him $10 million to not be there. Great job by his agent. Incredible job. I didn't love the Red Sox taking on this contract for this reason, because if they had a down season, if Sonny Gray wasn't as sharp as he has been in the past, it becomes a bit of an albatross for a year. Because of the teams that could be interested, Braves, Padres, Cubs, Brewers, White Sox, Padres have openly said they're willing to take more money on. That feels like a match made in heaven. Maybe you send Sonny Gray to the San Diego Padres, help out that rotation because they don't particularly care about the contract and the money. Sonny Gray is still good. It's a risky one because of that contract. I do think that this is higher than 25%, though, that Sonny Gray gets moved. Breslow's got to move on from him, right? 14, Gleyber Torres. Yeah, I think 85% has been the highest we've seen thus far. I can't imagine there's a world where Gleyber Torres stays on the Tigers just because of all the middle infielders that the Tigers have. In a year where they're not really competing, where they might move Tarek Skubal, you might as well move on from Gleyber, who can help out a ton of teams. Again, second base is a garbage position in Major League Baseball. Dodgers, Blue Jays, Diamondbacks, Guardians. I think you could throw the A's on there. I think there's a lot of teams that could use help at the position. Gleyber Torres has shown that he has been a good player when healthy. They mentioned it. He's reinvented himself as an ideal leadoff type, prioritizing on-base percentage and consistent contact. Gleyber would be a great postseason guy down the stretch to help your team. Doesn't need to be an impact bat, but could have an impact because of his on-base ability and being fine at second base. I love the idea of Gleyber on the move. Tigers, again, can kind of control the trade market. In prior years, they've been a little weird. I can't wait to see what they do in 2026. Number 13, Luis Ariz. Chance of being traded. This is the highest, 90%. Rest season impact moderate, and of course, he's a free agent at the end of the year. Second base is weak, and the one critique that you really had of Luis Ariz's game, truthfully, even me, as an Ariz doubter or hater, he was horrible at second base. He couldn't play the position. This year, he's been incredible defensively at second base. I don't know what happened, but he's been really good. Is it just because of Ron Washington? He's got the magic touch. If he plays even league average defense while hitting close to 300, while being close to a league average hitter, that will help out a lot of teams. And the Rays, the Nationals, the Dodgers, Yankees, Blue Jays, Diamondbacks, Guardians, Pirates, they all make sense. To me, I think Luis Ariz is going to be a Ray. Just feels perfect to me. I'd love to know what you guys think down in the comment section. Number 12, Taylor Ward. Chance of being traded 75%. Obviously, his contract expires at the end of the year. Crazy trade looking back on it. Orioles, absolute disaster of a season. I do think if they stay where they are right now, which seems like they're going to be on the outside looking in, you probably should move on from Taylor Ward. Is this the year the Phillies finally trade for Taylor Ward? I've been saying it year after year after year that it feels like a good fit. He also makes sense for all the other teams listed down here. Guardians, Diamondbacks, Padres, Rangers, Braves, Rays, Marlins. A lot of teams could use outfield help. The outfield market, again, has a ton of names that could be moved, but no clear-cut guy. Taylor Ward seems to be the favorite right now to be moved as an outfielder at the deadline. All right, number 11, we have got Freddie Peralta of my New York Mets. Chance of being traded 90%. Oh, it hurts. It hurts my heart as a Mets fan, but we suck. We suck so bad. Rest of the season impact being moderate is crazy. Freddie Peralta is a top 30 pitcher, top 40 pitcher at the absolute worst in the game. He is a playoff starter. I think rest of the season impact being moderate is insane. Obviously, you only have control for the rest of the season. He does become a free agent. But the Mets are so bad, they definitely would love to try and move off him from some of their guys. It's been a nightmare season. Freddie Peralta has been up and down, hasn't been as good as I had hoped. But look how many teams are going to want him. And he is one of the best pitchers available at the trade deadline. I do think that a trade is in the future for him. Guardians, A's, Padres, White Sox, Cubs, Cardinals, Rays, Diamondbacks, Blue Jays, Braves. I wonder if the Brewers would consider trading for Freddie Peralta back this year. It's a shame it didn't work out in New York. Loved Freddie so far. Seems like a good dude, but it's just been a complete and utter disaster of a season. Not his fault. The team stinks. But yeah, 90%. That's one of the highest in today's video. That's crazy. Thought Freddie Peralta was going to be the reason we might make a World Series this year. I was so wrong. All right, getting the top 10 started. At number 10, we've got Sandy Alcantara. Okay. Sandy, I mean, 40%, I think it's probably lower. I don't see the Marlins moving him with how well they've been playing, but from an organizational standpoint, you probably can cash in big time because he's starting to pitch a little bit better. Nothing guaranteed beyond 2026, but a $21 million club option for next year, $2 million buyout. Obviously, everybody who trades for him or even the Marlins, you'll be picking that up. I do think it's fair if he's your number one starter, you're not going very far. If you're his number three, you've got a playoff good rotation. And as number two, I think he's fine, but again, a little bit iffy. Cubs, D-backs, Guardians, Padres, A's, Rays, Braves, White Sox, Brewers is fit. Sandy is an innings eater. You would love to have him in your rotation. I don't know if the Marlins move him. It's just, you're going to have to give him an offer they can't refuse. And I wonder if one of those teams will. If there is, I mean, it's probably, who do they have trade history with? They have trade history with the Cubs. I think that would be funny. They have trade history, it feels like, with all these teams. Give him to the White Sox. Come on, Chicago. Let's go. At the number 9 spot, we've got Wilson Contreras. Ooh, yeah. I mentioned him as a fun name to keep an eye out for on a video on the windup. 25% chance of being traded. Rest of the season impact high. 1 year after 2026 for $17 million. The club option at 2020 with a $7.5 million buyout. Man, the Red Sox signed some crazy contracts. What are we doing? I love everything else except the buyout. $7.5 million to not play feels nuts. Wilson Contreras can be an impact bat. And at first base, or DH, or wherever you want to play him, I think that Wilson Contreras can be really, really useful to a bunch of teams. D-backs being one of them, Blue Jays, Guardians, Rangers, Marlins, Pirates, Padres. Wilson Contreras is really good. The Red Sox should probably consider moving off from him. Doesn't seem like their window's as open as we once thought right now. It's probably still maybe a full year away. 2027, you hope to get back to the playoffs, but 2026 has been a disaster. Craig Breslow's an idiot, so I wouldn't be shocked if he holds on to Wilson Contreras. In my opinion, you should be trading him. I think this is going to be one of the highest marks his value will possibly be at. Number 8, who do we got on number 8? Aroldis Chapman, chance of being traded 90%. Yeah, rest of the season impact high. One of the best relievers in all of baseball, and from the left side, probably is the best reliever. He has a vesting/mutual option for 2027. Do we know what that vesting or mutual option looks like? Whatever, it doesn't matter. Aroldis Chapman's still throwing 110 miles an hour. The sinker is disgusting. He's been throwing that splitter, which is disgusting. Everybody in Major League Baseball that's competing should be interested on Aroldis Chapman, and I do think he ends up getting moved, and I do think the Red Sox get a lot back from him. The rare reliever with no control being moved at the deadline, getting a lot back, and what do you know? It's Aroldis Chapman again. He's just that good. This guy won't go away. He's so good. He's so good. It's ridiculous. Number 7. Jose Soriano. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this one. Angels should not be moving on from him. They would have to get an unbelievable offer. And again, some of these teams that are listening here, I think would consider giving a ton. Like, I think the Mets, the Orioles, the Blue Jays, some teams that are not in it right now but could be looking to the future. I think that would be smart. I think it'd be smart for the Nationals to get involved. All these teams should want Jose Soriano. He's a fantastic pitcher. But I don't think that this is one the Angels should consider trading just yet, which is why chance of being traded is 20%. Impact for the rest of the season being moderate, it's insane. I think he'd be a huge impact player. Guy's really, really good. He's not been as sharp as of late, so maybe that's part of the reason why people are a little bit down on him, but I wouldn't want the Angels to trade him right now if I was an Angels fan. There's other guys to consider. Number 6, are we going to see... Yeah, there's Reed Detmers. I was going to say, are we going to see Reed Detmers? Feels like as soon as Reed Detmers leaves the Angels, he's going to be an ace, right? Former first-round pick. I think he was like, a top 10 pick, right, in the 2020 draft? One of the best pitchers in college at the time. The Angels' development is horrible. In spite of that, Reed Detmers is having a really good year and getting hot at the right time. I think the Angels are more likely to trade Reed Detmers than they are Jose Soriano because I think he's going to be the one that you can get a ton for right now, and teams will be just salivating at the mouth because he truly can be a frontline starter at the major league level. The stuff's really good. Get him in an organization that's smart, and you probably unlock even more. Reed Detmers, I think, could be the big name that people didn't necessarily expect that could be moved. But also at the same time for the Angels, you do have a great 1-2 or a solid 1-2 in Soriano Detmers moving on to next year if you want to be smart, but this organization is inept, so I mean, if you're an Angels fan, do you even trust your organization if you have these two guys? Look at what you've put around them for the last few years. Number 5. Who's at number 5? CJ Abrams. Okay, yeah, he's not being traded. 15% chance. He would have a huge impact. I think he's a part of the Nationals' future. Again, unless the Braves, well, you wouldn't do it with the Braves, but unless the Rays, Yankees, or Blue Jays came to you with an offer that, again, you cannot refuse, similar to an offer where you got CJ Abrams for Juan Soto. Obviously, Juan Soto is better, but CJ Abrams is really good. I don't think that the Nationals will be trading him. And I almost don't know what the package would be from any of these teams that would make sense from either side for CJ Abrams. So I just think he stays a National. Number 4, who do we got? Number 4, Joe Ryan, 55%. I'm going to be honest. I think Joe Ryan is good, but I think he's more of a 2 than a 1. Can I say that? I think he's like one of the best 2s in the league. I don't think he's a true number 1. That being said, he has 1 year of control after this season. Look for some teams that maybe aren't in it right now to try and make a move for Joe Ryan this deadline. Teams are on the outside looking in that you thought would be playoff teams, but they could go for him right now. That being said, K-to-walk ratio is one of the best in the league. He does this every single year. The innings and the length has been the issue, and this year he's going deeper into games than he ever has. I think the Twins have to trade him. If they don't trade him, what are we doing, Minnesota? It's time to cash in. This team is not going anywhere. The organization needs to rebuild. Let Joe Ryan be free and trade him. You're going to get a lot. The problem is that there is a significantly better pitcher available who's probably going to set the market, which is why you might want to try and move Joe Ryan earlier to maybe one of these fringe teams who wouldn't trade for Tarek Skubal. I'm just saying, try and max it out. Number 3, we've got Jeremy Pena, 35%. Yep, rest of the season impacts high, 1 year of control after 2026. The Astros have some younger middle infield guys on their way up. I don't think Pena ultimately gets traded, and honestly, neither do Passan or Kiley McDaniel here, only putting him at 35%. Braves, Rays, Yankees, Blue Jays, Red Sox. It would probably be like if the Braves offer you 1 to 2 of their young pitchers of like Didier Fuentes, AJ Smith-Shawver, Owen Murphy, J.R. Ritchie, Cam Caminiti. We're talking about those guys, along with maybe like another close to Major League ready player. You're looking for some impact guys. Rays, Yankees, again, they have similar ready, close to Major League ready starting pitchers, as well as some impact prospects. I don't think the Red Sox or Blue Jays truthfully can or will do it. I ultimately don't think Jeremy Pena gets traded, so, we don't have to spend much more time on this. Is Jordan going to be on here? Because he ain't getting moved. Byron Buxton's number 2. Okay, so Buxton is the second best one. He would be game-changing. I think Buxton has a no-trade list, right? Or he has a no-trade protection to reject any potential deal. I do think that Buxton should be open to being moved. I know he loves the city of Minnesota. I know he loves playing there. And you know what? These guys are allowed to decide where they want. That's why he has this no trade clause in his contract. I think it's like changed a little bit, but basically over his last 162 games that he's played, 50 homers, 25 stolen bases, fantastic center fielder. Not as elite as he once was, but still really, really good. He's one of the best power hitters in the game, low-key. He's one of the best athletes in the game. You have control over him. Man, like that's, if you want to win a World Series right now, Phillies, I could see the Phillies doing something crazy going after Byron Buxton. I think every team should be interested in Byron Buxton. I think this could be another one too where maybe like a team that's out of it tries to get this guy for multiple years, but Buxton probably says no because those teams are just as bad as the Twins right now. He's one of the more interesting guys. This could be the offensive bat that changes everything this trade deadline, especially in the outfield. Twins should very much consider trading him, and I hope Buxton considers leaving Minnesota. And then at number 1, it's going to be Tarek Skubal, right? I'm glad that I'm not seeing Yordan Alvarez on here because he's not being traded. That's a 0% chance. Yep, Tarek Skubal, chance of being traded 85%, rest of the season impact game-changing, and of course, he's a free agent at the end of the year. Every single team in Major League Baseball, especially like they said down here, every single contending team, more realistically Dodgers, Yankees, Braves, Brewers, Blue Jays, Rays, every single contending team will give an offer for Tarek Skubal. He is the best pitcher in baseball. He's back. He looks healthy. He had some crazy injury stuff happen this year, and of course, you run the risk of not retaining him. But I think that his price point's going to be high. I don't think anybody cares about the salary that you have to pay him for the rest of the year. Tarek Skubal is going to get a absolute haul back for a rental. Brewers have done this a couple times. CC Sabathia, Zach Greinke. Don't be surprised if the Brewers swoop in here and get Tarek Skubal. That's my bold prediction, is that Skubal will be a Brewer at the deadline, but realistically, yeah, it's probably the Dodgers, which sucks, but it's probably the Dodgers. Again, if you want to see the rest of the names that Jeff Passan and Kylie McDaniel mentioned in the article, I'll scroll down real quick. Ooh, look, there's 100 of them. You can click the link in the description down below, support their article by reading it over on ESPN. That's where I'll wrap it up. You know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this video. This is my most recent upload, so click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.